All right, we got a truck build walk around video for y'all today, so stay tuned. The engine is all stock. We haven't deleted it, haven't done anything to it yet. There's really not much aftermarket support for the 24 L5Ps yet. We're rolling stock and we're keeping the warranty for the time being. Whenever tunes do come out, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Starting on the front end of the truck, Vader Chrome is from the factory. It comes with the ultimate trim, so we left that there. I kind of like the way the chrome offsets with the black. It adds a little contrast. So it comes with the black GMC logo and the black Vader Chrome. Didn't change anything there. So that's all original. And then what we did end up changing was we paint matched the outer trim pieces of the grille. So we did Onyx Black, the factory paint code, for all these little trim pieces. And then we just, like I said, left that in Vader Chrome. Even the tow hooks we powder coated black as well. So made the front end look a little more aggressive and I guess sportier maybe. Just a bunch of paint work over here. Did a little cat front plate, and then headlights, we didn't touch anything on there. Left them all stock. That's just how they come for the 24s. This is like the facelifted headlight. It already comes as a white LED with projectors and sequentials and all that. The only thing I might do down the road, if I do find someone who's good with headlights, is maybe remove this little amber reflector. It's kind of an eyesore when everything else on the truck is black with white LEDs, and then you have that one little orange strip right there. So I'm not a huge fan of that, but it didn't bother me enough to want to tear apart the headlights and mess with all that, because these are pretty expensive headlights and taillights with all the sensors. So you really got to make sure you know what you're doing if you're going to rip into these. So that's what we got going on the front end. Pretty much just a bunch of paint work. So now we'll move over to the side. We got more paint. This is originally chrome, so we painted these gloss black, and then these are textured plastic originally. So we had these all smoothed down and painted gloss black as well. Same thing with the mirrors, we paint match those as well. So you'll see throughout the entire video that there's going to be a bunch of pieces that are traditionally just raw plastic that have been sanded down and painted black. So I'm going to try to cover all the pieces, but if I do forget, bear with me, because there is a lot of pieces that we did paint match. So at one point the truck was completely torn, all the trim pieces were off. So basically a whole bunch of paint match has been done. On the lighting that we have for the side of the truck, these are all Boost Auto LEDs. So we went with all smoked lenses with white LEDs with sequential and amber switchbacks. So in other words, everything is white when you're running DRLs, and then whenever you turn on hazards or turn signals, you get orange sequential. So these are also the Boost Auto turn signals, and then up there on the cab, those are also the Boost Auto cab lights as well. So those are the only three components that we got going from Boost Auto. Next, we got over here some 37-inch Nitto mud grapplers. So these are 37 by 1350s. The reason that we didn't go to a 38, which is what I had on my last F250, I really do like the 38s, but the rim that we're running is a 22-inch factory OEM GM stock, I guess. I got it from the local dealership. So since it's a 22-inch rim, Nitto doesn't actually make a 38-inch tire for a 22-inch rim. They only make it for a 20-inch rim. So that pretty much left me with no option besides staying with the 37, which is fine because the 37 is a little more practical and clears full turn and no rubbing or anything. So I guess it works out in that sense. I think it would have looked pretty tough with some 38s too. So maybe down the road we'll try a different tire with that comes in a 38 with a 22-inch rim, maybe like a Toyo or something like that. But you know, any of you guys who have seen my previous builds and stuff, y'all know that I like the Nitto mud grapplers. That's probably my favorite tire. I just like the way they look. Yeah, we pretty much went with these wheels. They're OEM GM stocks. And then we did 2-inch shifted industry spacers, hub-centric spacers all the way around. So kind of lets the wheels poke out a little bit and clear all the suspension components for full lock. So if you come over here to clear the 37s to get that full lock that I was talking about, we went with the full Cognito 4-inch lift kit. So this is the setup that comes with the Fox 2.0s with the reservoirs. It's the full kit, so you got the upper control arms, you got the diff drop bracket, torsion key, relocation brackets and everything. So we went with that whole setup, and it was pretty difficult to install, at least according to 30. It was pretty difficult, he said, but it rides really good. It's super solid. It feels just as good, if not better, than the OEM suspension. Truck handles like it's on normal street tires. You wouldn't believe that it's on 37-inch mud tires, the way that it handles, and the, you know, I guess driving characteristics of it on the highway are really good. So it really is a good kit. Is it worth the $5,000 or $6,000 or whatever it was? I don't know. It's hard to say. I haven't compared to many other kits, but it definitely is a good kit. We left all the components just gloss black from the Cognito paint. pretty simple. We didn't want to go with any bright powder coat or anything crazy. It's my daily driver, so I was kind of just going for the blacked out look. I didn't want to add any red powder coat or anything too bright. So that's what we got going on for the suspension and the wheel setup. All right, so one more thing I'll talk about, that way I don't get a million questions about this, is what we did to make these tires fully fit with no rubbing. So Kelderman, I guess fender caps is what they call them. They're good, but I don't know if you can tell, the fenders don't fit perfectly flush. I don't know why. They are better than just like trimming the factory fenders. So you get a lot more clearance right here because that's usually the first place you're gonna rub. So I use those, paint match those as well. That way it matches with the fenders. And then over here, we pushed in these fender liners and trimmed some of the fender liner down here. We got a screw back here that's holding it. It's just like a self-tapper holding it back in there. And then if you come to the front, I don't know if you can tell right here, but this has been trimmed and sanded. And then same thing, we've trimmed up some of this carpet fender liner up there as well. So that's pretty much all we did to clear it. If I remember correctly, we cranked the torsion keys a little bit just to get the truck to sit level, but also to get a little more clearance. All right, so for the side, there's a whole lot of blackout stuff that we did over here. The only thing that we've really left chrome on the truck is just the badges and then the lug nuts, just to like kind of break it up a little bit. I didn't want it to be all blacked out. I wanted a little bit of, you know, something to break up the black. All these were originally chrome over here, like your window trim, your door handles, your trim on the footsteps down here. So all these were vinyl wrapped because this was just gonna be really hard to take apart. So we vinyl wrapped this gloss black and we vinyl wrapped the window trim gloss black, but the door handles were taken apart and paint matched along with the mirrors. So gave it a good blackout look on the side. As you can tell, we've got 5% tint as well. So it kind of got the whole side profile like really blacked out. If you want to step back a little bit and see the entire side profile of the truck, gives it a nice sleek black look. I really like the way it turned out, and I especially like that we left this chrome because it kind of makes the whole Denali badging stand out a little bit better than if it were to be all black as well. So that's what we got going on the side for the cosmetic aspect. All right, so for the back of the truck, pretty much the same thing that you saw on the front. We've got paint match fenders, the 37s, the 22-inch OEM wheels, and then the Fox 2.0 shocks to match with the front setup. All part of the combination, all part of the package. These were paint matched too. I figured that'd be worth mentioning. We paint matched the outside trim of the footstep, and then we left this like rubber polymer piece as raw plastic because this is something that you're going to be stepping in and out of a bunch, and the texture of it is kind of almost like a rubbery plastic, so I didn't think the paint is not going to stick too well to that. So I figured it would just be better to leave that piece raw, paint match around it. That way you don't see the paint chipping or flaking off of this footstep down the road. So that's something I would recommend, is on these like polymer footsteps, leave that raw and paint match around it. That way you don't have the paint rubbing off of this after you use it 1 or 2 times. So that's what we got on the rear. I left this on raw material up here, this plastic. We did not sand it down and paint match it because, believe it or not, I do actually use my truck. So I didn't want it to get all torn up and scratched up from whenever I'm putting bikes or four-wheelers or whatever in the bed of the truck. So left that as raw plastic. That's pretty much the only raw plastic still on the truck. We're gonna walk over to the back of the truck and give you a better perspective of some of the other parts that we have painted. All right, so coming to the back of the truck, we got a few things that we've gone through and sanded and paint matched as well back here. So we'll start off with the taillights. These are the OEM taillights. They've just been taped off and I guess smoked out. Not necessarily paint match, but smoked out. So it's got that like dark gray smoky finish to it. Matches nicely with the Boost Auto lenses and lights that we've got. So we kind of have the smoked out texture or finish on all the lights. We had these all sanded down and paint matched. And once again, the footsteps, they stayed as raw plastic, but the housing around it got paint matched. Same thing that you saw with the bed step. So all of this was paint matched. Come back here, you can see the paint match continues on here with the little bed accessories or tailgate accessories. And then we removed the Sierra badge that was originally here to clean up the rear end a little bit. Left the Denali, left the GMC, and then went ahead and paint matched this handle as well. So basically we just left minimal badging and then paint match a lot of the plastic. All right, so up here, forgot to mention we got the third brake light over there, and we did the same thing. It's an OEM third brake light. We just taped it off and then smoked out the outside trim of the tail light. So that once again follows the pattern with the tail light, the third brake light, and the Boost Auto fender lights. So they're all smoked out. So kind of keeps it uniform and matching over there. This is a feature that's pretty cool too. The Denali's come with this. I think you can get it on the high country as well. I'm not sure, but I know the Denali's have it. It's just like a kicker tailgate system. Comes with a little kicker module. They're pretty decent speakers actually. I was surprised with how good they were. It's actually worth like using if you're at the beach or something like that. It's a cool little feature. You can also plug in a USB right here and charge, you know, your phone or whatever device you got going on outdoors. So it's pretty cool. This is a step, and then this is also a sound bar basically. So you can fold this up and then lock it in and then put the tailgate back up. The only thing that you need to be careful of with this tailgate setup is right here. If you have a conventional hitch and it comes out like this and it just right angles, you will actually dent the top of the tailgate somewhere right around here. You'll make contact with the tailgate if you use both release functions on the tailgate. So B&W makes this slanted hitch that basically clears perfectly whenever that tailgate is down, so you don't have to worry about hitting it. So something to be aware of. It's kind of a little bit of a design flaw from GM, but the tailgate is kind of cool, so it breaks even, I guess. But just make sure you got the right hitch, or make sure you remove your hitch if you have a conventional traditional hitch. So we'll work our way over back to the other side of the truck now. All right, so we're gonna show you guys the interior of the truck now. So to start off, these are factory drop steps. Didn't touch anything there. We really haven't done much to the interior, but it's worth showing because that's what makes the Ultimate different than the regular. You get these cool seats, saddle stitching, and then you get some Ultimate badges all around here and here. And then the suede headliner is different from the standard Denali. So pretty much that's the interior setup. I got a bass knob right down here, and then I have my radar hardwired up through here. Another thing worth noting is if you're gonna put subwoofers in this truck, the only thing in the interior that is not completely solid and actually rattles is this trim right here. So my audio guy actually went ahead and put a foam stripping right between that plastic and the windshield. Now I can listen to the subs and there's no rattles at all in the truck. It's pretty clear. So, and then also we got a tint on the windshield as well. So we got eyebrow, 5%, and then 20% on the whole shield. So that's pretty much all we got going on the driver aspect of the interior. We'll go ahead and show you guys the back so you can see the subwoofer setup. All right, so this is the back seat. Obviously the interior matches with the front, and all we've done is add a subwoofer box down here and remove the original underseat storage so that we can clear the subwoofer box. So this is just a generic box from eBay with a GMC cutout, and it's cut out for 4 8-inch subwoofers. So it fits pretty nicely. I did 4 DB Drive G5 WDX subwoofers, and then I paired that to a Sound Digital 3000 watt amp, which is behind the seats over here. And then we just added a little Persian rug down here to replace the floor mat, make it a little more personalized. All right, so that pretty much completes the entire walk around and build sheet for the truck. I'll go over everything one last time, do a quick speed run. We pretty much did all the paint match and all the plastic. Chrome deleted most of it except for the badges. So mirrors, fenders, grill trim pieces, all of that's been paint matched or vinyl wrapped, which we mentioned earlier. A couple of the trim pieces were vinyl wrapped for practicality, but then we went with a 4-inch Cognito lift. We do have the keys cranked a little bit, just enough to make it level with the blocks that came with the kit. So I didn't have them cranked all the way or anything. My angles are still super mild, nothing crazy on that side. I just wanted it to be leveled. I didn't want it to be a little bit raked or anything like that. Naturally, if you leave the keys uncranked, you will have a little bit of rake with the blocks that Cognito sends you. Got that all set up, got it aligned once we got the keys torqued where we needed it. And then we got 37-inch Nitto mud grapplers paired to a 22-inch OEM GM factory wheel, I guess they call it. Boost auto, LED lights everywhere. Some tint. That's pretty much all we got besides the sound system as well. So that's pretty much going to wrap up this phase 1 of the build. I don't know if we're going to do anything else to the truck. I really like the way the setup is right now, but I'm sure I'm going to get bored of it at some point. Probably the next thing that I'm itching to do is get some exhaust work done to it, but there's no tuning out yet. So we're going to have to wait and see on that. I don't know how long that's going to take before they get released, but for now we're going to leave the setup like as is, and I'm going to do a couple more pictures and videos and stuff you'll see on my Instagram. So if you want to see some more of this truck, go and follow up on there. So I'll put my Instagram somewhere in the description, and you guys can go check out more pictures of that if you'd like. So I appreciate you guys watching the video. If y'all want to see anything else more specific on the truck, or you want me to go in detail about anything else, maybe do a review on these tires, or maybe talk about the lift kit more in depth, then just let me know in the comments, and I'm gonna start making some more videos here. Got a new camera and stuff, so hopefully the quality is a little bit better for you guys. Let me know in the comments what y'all want to see next, and see y'all in the next video. Oh.